Hello and welcome to Think About It, where we have two primary goals. One, to get you to think about it, and two, to just make more sense than Keith Olbermann, which really isn't that difficult anymore. In an age when millions and billions and trillions are figures that are being thrown around every single day, I realize that most all of us have kind of lost sight of the real value of a specific number. For the next couple of seconds, let's concentrate on a number 60,000. Any of you who have attended sporting events have perhaps at one time or another been in a crowd of 60,000. That's the approximate capacity of Ford Field where the hapless Detroit Lions play their games. It's also a number that has become somewhat lost in the shuffle in the headlines of the last couple of weeks when the conversation has turned to the life and death of Dr. Joseph Tiller. You might know Dr. Tiller in Kansas. He has, on approximately 60,000 occasions, held in his hands 90% of a human being. The other 10%, or the head area of that baby, is still inside of its mother. The rest of it is out, in his hands, squirming, kicking, writhing around as Dr. Tiller takes a sharp surgical object and crams it into the back of the skull of that human being. Then a powerful vacuum is put inside and it literally sucks the brains out of the baby. It's called partial birth abortion. It's a stunningly barbaric procedure, and he did it so many times that the next time you're at a sporting event, perhaps you can look around and realize that if there are 60,000 people in this stadium, he did every one of them that way. An entire football stadium worth of people. I've been taking my time and putting together my thoughts on this particular topic because I know it's a hot button issue. I realize that people differ in their opinions on abortion, although I don't believe there's much difference regarding partial birth abortion. I think most people realize that by the time the doctor is able to hold every bit of the baby, choosing to leave its head inside the mother and then sucking its brains out, I think most of us would realize that's fairly barbaric. And yet, in the days since his death, the New York Times has blamed Bill O'Reilly, which I think, by the way, is sort of like blaming ESPN for the riots in LA or the New York Times for the gunning down of protesters in Iran. I really don't understand that. But then again, that's why nobody reads the Times anymore, or most of the major liberal newspapers. In the days, though, since Tiller's death, it seems as if a perspective has been lost as to what this man did. So let me make a couple of things perfectly and abundantly clear. Number one, it is not right to take a life. Thou shalt not kill. So, the person who walked into the church where Tiller attends, and I guess that's a whole nother discussion at some point. The person who walked into that church and ended his life was wrong. It should not have been done. And on the 60,000 occasions when Tiller jammed a sharp instrument into the back of the skull of an infant, sucked its brains out, and then dismembered its carcass and threw it into a dumpster, that shouldn't have been done either. What kind of a nation allows that sort of barbaric behavior? What kind of a nation sits silently by while this happens? What kind of a nation then laments the loss of the monster who did that? That's not the nation that I'm very proud of sometimes. Yeah, Dr. Tiller's dead. I'm having a real hard time working up tears for his passing, even though it was not done in the right way. He should have been stopped by legal means. He should have been stopped by an outcry, by an outpouring of emotion and protest from every person in this nation. Should have happened that way, but it didn't. But at least it's done now. And to read news that that clinic is closing permanently, that Operation Rescue actually put a bid on the building to turn it into a crisis pregnancy center to help despairing and troubled ladies. I know that's probably not going to happen because of all the emotions involved in it. That would be quite a proper and fitting and perhaps ironic twist to the entire debacle. But as we sit here today, there are 60,001 persons whose lives have ended because of the actions of Dr. Tiller. Think about it.